Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I know it has been a long time since I have uploaded something to the channel. That's been mostly due to a sort of self-imposed break, hiatus that I kind of put on myself following the Ball Joey Draft League monotype season that I had participated in. Of course, we did the NFE off-season event and the SADL. I didn't upload any videos for that. I was kind of just trying something new. Wasn't sure if I wanted to record my matches and then do a post-match commentary as opposed to a live commentary like I usually did. And then was kind of just seeing how that was, trying something new. Ended up not really liking that idea as I got finished with the season, and just figured I wouldn't record the season. So after that, being said and done, I was just kind of like, yeah, not going to record those matches. We'll just move forward. Um, Obviously, so of course I'm here now to announce it is officially season 3 of SADL after um, over a year. I think SADL season 2 wrapped up in was it November of 2024, I think. So yeah, we're over a year at this point, like close to 15 months, I think. Actually past that, I think. Um, since our last official season, we've done some off-season stuff in the meantime, obviously to keep people engaged. Even brought in some new members, people who originally had not participated in our first 2 official seasons. So SADL season 3, this is basically the announcement for that, getting into what we're going to be doing with the new season, and of course have our signups officially out and everything like that as we're looking forward to having a new season. Um, I think it's going to be a fun experience, a new experience. So it's something a little bit different. If you can't tell by the little channel banner, not channel, sorry, season banner that we have down here. By the way, big shout out to Silver Slime. If you don't know who he is, I know he is in Brody's server, the Ball Joey Draft League, as well as I believe PokeAim's Joey server. Anyways, he does art and stuff like that. So I commissioned him for a season banner. And so this is what he came up with. He did a great job. I absolutely love it. This is basically like almost exactly what I envisioned, like perfectly envisioned. He did a great job on it. So that's going to be our little banner that we'll have around. It's kind of nice to have like some cool artwork to kind of, make things feel a little lively. We've kind of been running on minimalist, I guess, aesthetics here in the SADL, but now we have something it's a little nice. So shout out to Silver Slime for that. Did a great job. So quick look, obviously, Natdex Generations. That's going to be the official name of this format. It's not our idea. It actually did come from another draft league. I forgot the name of it. But this was an idea that was suggested by one of our council members, Nixie. Shout out Nixie. If you see them in the server, give them, say hello, and or not congratulate them, but thank them for the idea. Because they came up with this idea from another, or they didn't come up with the idea, but they got the idea from another draft league. And basically, the way it's going to work, I'll explain it when we look at the draft rules real quick. So basically, the way it is, it's going to work is basically we will have. I realize I just repeated myself there. Um, this is going to be a budgetless draft. So basically, no budget, so no points, no tiers. We usually do tiers in the SADL. You the way it works is you have 9 rounds and you draft one Pokemon from each generation, basically. So 9 round stake draft, as you can see right here. You can draft your mons in any order, obviously, but you can only draft one Pokemon per generation. Mega Pokemon will count as being from their original generation, so Mega Venusaur would be Gen 1, Mega Scissor Gen 2, etc., etc. Regional forms will be considered from the generation that they were introduced, so Alolan Muck is a Gen 7 Pokemon, Galarian Weezing is a Gen 8 Pokemon, etc., etc. Pretty simple. 9 rounds, 9 generations, one Pokemon from each generation. Pretty straightforward. Um, like I said, no budget, so it is a pretty high end overall just draft. You know what I mean? You're getting a lot of really strong Pokemon. So some changes if you are a participant, have participated in other SADL drafts before. The way the draft will work is the first round. Each coach will have basically 24 hours to make their selection. The entire first round essentially has no time limit. This is like a newer, I don't say a newer format. It's a newer format for us, but I've seen other draft leagues do it, and I think it's will work out a little bit better. Make draft faster. So first round will have no time limit. Essentially, you have 24 hours to make your pick. In the second round, the timer will be reduced to 4 hours. That doesn't seem like it's a lot of time. You know, people have different things going on, different sleep schedules, of course, as you know. It's a global draft, so there's a lot of people who participate from across the world. You have 4 hours to make your pick. Each time you miss a pick, your timer will be halved. 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you will be skipped on your pick. Because of this, leaving leaving picks is highly recommended. Leave them with a mod. Leave them with somebody you trust. If you have a friend or somebody else that is in the server, somebody who you trust, leave your picks with them so that way those picks can be made. Um, like I said, highly recommend that. We're going to be very strict about this. Try to get this draft done as fast. We haven't had extremely lengthy drafts before in the past. Usually we finish up in like a week, so it's not that big of a deal. But just to kind of speed things up, if your picks are skipped, more than likely they'll be made up at the end of the draft, unless I state otherwise, or maybe another council member states otherwise. Hey, at the end of this draft, you can actually make up your pick, or hey, you can have the next pick. We'll figure that out, obviously. Depending on how many picks you've missed, and like when it gets brought to the attention. Somebody's like a few minutes off of a pick. We might as well that could be worked out. It's going to be different case by case, obviously, and I think people who might have just missed a pick by a few minutes versus people who are very clearly Johning or just not paying attention to the draft, obviously they're going to hit harder. Um, so yeah, you may only draft one Pokemon from each evolution line. This isn't really something that's ever came up in draft, and it's not something I've enforced before. It's going to be very hard to do this in this draft, to draft Pokemon from multiple evolution lines, since there are very few cross generation evolutions. But obviously, yeah, that's a rule that's present. It's not something major. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to become a problem. There is no Terra, no Z, no Terra. This is just going to be straight raw mons. No Terra. We didn't really know how to enforce Terra rules without a budget, so we're just doing away with that. Something a little different. A lot of drafts obviously currently have Terra due to it being the Gen 9 mechanic. We're not just doing no Terra this draft. And then our form rules, basically Pokemon who have multiple forms: Pikachu, Basculin, or Choreo. If you draft a Pokemon, you obviously have access to all of their forms, but you can only bring one per battle. We will also obviously have a 24-hour grace where any sort of transactions um, can happen for free, no cost. So switch out as many Pokemon as you want to. Obviously, you can only switch out a Pokemon for a Pokemon in the same generation, or vice. You have to have equal Pokemon for each generation. Coaches may draft Pokemon with the same Pokédex number, for example, a Ninetales and a Alolan Ninetales, but may not bring them on the same team. So yeah, obviously you can draft a Pokemon that has different forms, but um, you can't bring them on the same team. Oh, and also I actually do not think that this was stated. Pretty common rules for our Mega rules. If you draft a Mega version, you do not have to Mega Evolve that Pokemon, but it has to have the Mega Stone equipped. And you also cannot draft the Mega Evolution and the base form. It's the only kind of exception to the Pokédex rule. I feel like I don't want to say it's known, because I know some drafts have different rules around that, but that's how we've been doing it. Basically, you draft the Mega form, you have to bring the Mega Stone. Obviously, all games will be played on Pokemon Showdown. We are a Showdown-based league. Natdex draft format will be the used format. There are no ties. Each is a best of one set. Pretty basic. Replays must be posted in the appropriate channel. We'll obviously have a replay channel. Please post your replays. Thankfully, we've never had any issues with this not happening, but proof for it didn't happen, essentially. Um, then, as far as our clauses go, basically all of the basic showdown clauses, species clause, um, which kind of goes hand in hand with what we said earlier about the drafting. Sleep clause, evasion clause, OCO clause, moody clause, endless battle clause, baton pass clause. We only allow dry passes. Dry passes are allowed. Abilities arena trap, shadow tag, and power construct are banned. Hidden power, last respects, revival blessing, and shed tail are also banned. Remember that. So don't go drafting Rapska and being surprised. Um, you know when you can't use revival blessing. Berserk Gene Mail, Z Crystals, and Gems. Normal Gem is legal because it's still in the game. Are banned. Other cut items are allowed. And then Razor Fang, King's Rock, Galaxy Scent, Bright Powder are banned. So all of the invasion, this goes with the evasion clause, all of the evasion boosting items, moves, and abilities are all banned. Breaking any rule or clause listed above may result in a 3-0 forfeit win for the opponent. During the season, you'll have 7 total transactions. This includes any free agent swaps and inter-team trades. All transactions must be made before the end of week 6. So basically, when week 6 starts, you'll have till the end of that week, going into week 7, to make all of your transactions. FA swap, so basically, drop a Gen 3 Pokemon, pick up a Gen 3 Pokemon, do that. Or inter-team trades, obviously, same thing, must be for Pokemon that are in the same generation if you're trading between another coach. Season will consist of 10 weeks, meaning 10 matches. Pretty self-explanatory. We do 10 weeks here at the SATL. 10 weeks, 10 games to play for the regular season before moving into the playoffs. Standings will be determined by standard draft format, meaning the most wins accrues. I believe that's actually misspelled. That's not my fault. I didn't type this out. I typed some of it out, but I didn't type that out. Accrues the highest placement. Ties will be determined by differential and then head-to-head. Playoffs will be top 8 seeds. Will be top 8 seeds to be. Dang. All right, there's a lot of typos. I'm sorry, I get my words twisted up. But basically, yeah, playoffs will be the top 8 seeds. We'll be played in a bracket format. Pretty simple. Um, so as far as number of people in the league, depending on interest, we may wind up doing 2 divisions. We'll try to do those divisions more than likely based on skill, but depending on the, like I said, number of applicants, the variation in applicants, they may just be randomized. That's yet to be determined. Obviously, that's, like I said, it's going to depend heavily on the interest in actual number of applications, people who are interested. Is really going to determine how we do that. We think the most we've ever done in one division has been 14. That's kind of a nice, comfortable number. I like that number. It's not a lot, and it's also a good. I think it's a good max, honestly. So we'll probably do no more than 14 per division, maybe 16. Not really sure, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. There's nothing set at the moment. As far as scheduling goes, extensions can be granted if you ask a mod beforehand. Preferably reach out to me as the commissioner. I would like it to be reached out directly to me. Obviously, our council members and our mods, they can help you with that. Failing to communicate your availabilities to your opponent or not showing up to the scheduled time will result in a 3-0 forfeit. You will be replaced in scheduling if scheduling and battling is too much of an issue. I want to be a lot stricter on scheduling this season. Um, it wasn't a big of an issue in season 1 and season 2. Towards the end of the season, I know 1 week we had I think there were 13 total matchups to be played. 7 of them were extended. And then also during the off season, we had 1 week that had to be postponed because we had so many people who weren't playing that week. That was a big issue. I don't want to have those issues again. I'm going to be a lot stricter about scheduling. I'm going to have a scheduling channel. I'm going to ask people to schedule in there. And basically, if I don't see you scheduling, I'm going to give you a forfeit. I'm not going to try to give 1, 2, 3 day extensions, just kind of, willy nilly. Just kind of keep them, nice and strict. I want to be a lot stricter about that just because it kind of becomes an issue when one person's just kind of uh, you know, dragging behind, and it causes issues with sort of any kind of events we want to do. If we want to do watch together, stuff like that, updating scores, anything like that that needs to be done. Obviously, having that one person who's one or two people who are kind of just keeping that from happening, playing matches, halfway into the week, and then not only that, they also delay themselves because now you have less days to prepare for your next week match, meaning you're increasing the chances of maybe delaying the next match as well, which is obviously not good. Um, our draft board, just a quick look at it. It's not anything to write home about. As you can see, we just kind of have Pokemon sorted by the draft tiers are, of course, the generations. So you get one per each tier per se. We went ahead and we removed a lot of like the really useless Pokemon. There's no budget, so this is going to be a very high power draft to begin with. So I don't expect a lot of those Pokemon to be gone. Uh, if a Pokemon is not on the list that you want to draft, it's pretty simple. It's going to be in the generation it is. I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory. If a Pokemon is placed in the wrong generation, it's obviously a part of the generation that it is actually in, not the generation it was accidentally placed in. If you do have a question about that, reach out to me or Ahmad. We can obviously tell you, but it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just look at a Pokemon's what Pokédex it's a part of, what generation was introduced. Pretty self-explanatory. I guess maybe the only confusion, any Hisuian forms or Pokemon that were released between Gens 8 and 9, they are Gen 8 Pokemon because that is the generation they were technically introduced, even though a lot of them didn't become available until Scarlet and Violet. Um, they're usually classified as Gen 8. So for the purpose of this draft, they're Gen 8. They should be all correctly listed in the Gen 8 tier, but just so there's no questions about that moving forward. So yeah, that's a quick look at the rules. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you can guys can read over them. If you have any questions, please let me know in the server. And then I'm gonna take a quick look at the application, just a quick brief read through. It's not much to it. But post your Discord name, basically, so that way I know if you're in the server or maybe if you haven't need an invite to the server, I know who you are. I can look you up and confirm that you obviously signed up. Showdown username, just before it's worth to have our information, we're going to have a team info section in the server, but we just want to know what that Showdown username is up front. We've had some, not really like issues, but we've had people before use multiple Showdown names. I don't like that just because it opens up the possibility of maybe ghosting or being a different user. So stick to the one Showdown name that you put on this list. If you need to change your Showdown name, please reach out to me. We can try to go over that. Team name, obviously, same thing. We'll have a team info section for you to post this kind of stuff. Must be appropriate and Pokemon related. Don't be making, extremely inappropriate things. Obviously, have some levity, but, I can't have anything too crazily inappropriate. And obviously, like I said, Pokemon related. It's a Pokemon Draft League. And then we have a little confirmation thing. This is basically just confirming that if you're signing up, that you have read the rules. Just quick button click, but just make sure you understand that the rules around drafting, scheduling, and playing, especially because this is a little bit of a different format than usual. And then at the very end of end of the questionnaire application, we just have a simple thing. Just describe your experience with draft and rank your skill on a scale of 1 to 10. This is going to help us if we happen to do some sort of skill-based divisions based on interest. Give us a good judge, especially with people who we're not familiar with. If you're new to draft, or not necessarily new to draft, but if you're new to the SADL and we're unfamiliar with your skill set and your experience with draft, just let us know so that way we can more accurately place you if that need is, if we need to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. A quick run through, an official announcement of our brand new season. SADL Season 3 Natdex Generations. I'm pretty excited for it. I know a lot of the mod team and the council members, they were really excited for it too. They really liked the idea when it was first introduced. So we're gonna move forward with that for our season 3, and I think it's going to be a success. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it'll be exciting, and I look forward to seeing you guys sign up, and look forward to seeing you guys out there, in the matches on the battlefield, as one might say. So yeah, all the information will be in the description of the video as well. Um, I'll probably have the link to the server as well as the link to the application in the description. Or more than likely, if you see this video, it more than likely will be posted with a link to those as well. So the information should all be there, obviously, and you guys should be able to, sign up and get to the server, and we can move forward with that. So until then, I'll see you guys around.